this, the 10th ever matchup of top 10 teams at Camp Randall Stadium. Badgers have won 7 of the first 9. They've already beaten 2 top 10 teams this season. It'll be the first top 10 matchup for the Bucs this year. They are 4-2 in such games under Urban Meyer. So a very compelling matchup, to say the least. We welcome in the head coach of the Badgers, Paul Chryst, who is in our studio in Madison. Coach, as always, we really appreciate your time. We know it's a busy week. It was a bye week a week ago for you guys. What do you feel like you got accomplished during that week?
You know, I thought we got some, we wanted to take some time to correct and clean up any of the issues that came up in the first 5 games. I thought it was also important to give the kids a break. This part in their school year, a lot of exams, and so a chance to get away, recharge a little bit, and yet still got 3 practices in. They were good practices, gave the kids the weekend off, and got back on track yesterday. It was, so it was a good bye, but it's really good and it's exciting to be getting ready for Ohio State coming to town.
You mentioned getting back on track. I think that's a phrase you could use to describe Alex Hornibrook. He had the outstanding game against Michigan State, and then it did not go as well against Michigan. What did you focus on with him in this week, and what are you focusing on here for the week to come?
Well, I think what you try to focus on with all your kids is finding the areas that they can improve that are in their control. And, you know, whether it's decision-making for the quarterback, whether it's ball placement, you know, all those things. And certainly Alex didn't play as well as he would have liked to have. And I think that really offensively, we missed a lot of opportunities and didn't take advantage of it. So we got to get back to focusing on the things that they can control, that they can improve upon. And certainly we're going to be tested in a big way and differently than we have all year. But, you know, it's another opportunity for Alex. It's another opportunity for this team. And so we're trying to take this week and make sure we're as prepared as we can be.
You've used that phrase a lot. You used it when we talked in the summer at Media Day, that you saw this brutal schedule as opportunities. We noticed the players did it as well when we were there for camp. And I think to a certain extent, Jerry and Howard and I kind of looked at each other and said, well, what else is he supposed to say? But it's become apparent in being around you this year that that truly is how you guys see it and truly how your players see it.
I think it is, and I've appreciated that from the kids, and it really is. And there are great challenges, and we knew that coming in, and yet those challenges are opportunities. And how you maximize that opportunity is to focus on the now. And for us, it's not even Ohio State on Saturday. It's how can we have the best day today so that when the game comes, we're as prepared as we can be. And then you want the kids to go out and play, and you want them to enjoy these big games and playing against good teams. And I always thought going into the season that your older players, they want to play against the best. And certainly we've had opportunities to play against really good teams, and we've got one this week, and we'll have more down the road. And for your young kids, it's an opportunity to grow and to understand, you know, when you play against a good team, that margin of error, it's a little bit smaller. And so you've got to embrace what it is. And I appreciate that the kids have. You know what? It's made each day pretty fun. And so we got to take advantage of this week and have a great week of preparation. Then Camp Randall will be a great setting. It'll be exciting. And certainly, you know, a heck of an Ohio State team coming in. And how can we be our best? And that's all you really want from your kids, is to be their best and go out and play the game.
Yeah, is it extra special to have this one at home and at night?
I mean, I've been lucky to be a part of some really neat games at night, but I think you could play this one at any time, and our kids would be excited, and I know we as coaches are excited for our kids, and you don't have to say a lot more. I mean, you got Ohio State coming into your stadium. You know, maybe the fact that it's at night might add something to it. Depends on how the game goes, I think. But it doesn't matter when it is. It's a big deal.
I want to break down the Buckeyes just a little bit. Let's start with the defense. We were talking about Hornibrook and the challenge that he faces and that your run game faces as well. How does this defense for OSU stack up against some of the other elite ones that you've already seen this year?
Well, I've been impressed, and you know, I've had 2 weeks to look at Ohio State, and certainly did our studies in the off season. But I think it's a combination of a really good scheme with really good players, and they're playing fast, they're playing confident, they're very opportunistic, and it's going to be a challenge whether running the ball, throwing the ball. I think it's a really good defense, and they're playing at a high level.
How about your run game and where it is right now? How do you feel about that aspect of your team going up against this Buckeye D?
You know, I think that's an area, no matter who we were playing next, I mean, it's an area that we've got to improve upon. There's been some moments where we've done some good things, but we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to be, and you know, it's going to be truly a challenge against this defense. And yet, you know what, I think that we've got some pieces that are good. We've just got to put it together, and like I said, it goes back to being consistent and making sure the kids are confident in what they're doing and be able to turn it loose. But we'll be tested and challenged certainly Saturday.
Finally, Coach, your defense has been lights out this year. I mean, just fantastic. What do you see in the matchup with Ohio State's offense? Where do they pose the biggest challenges?
Well, I think that J.T. Barrett's, you know, I heard the analogy of, you know, a great point guard, and he is that. You know, everything goes through him, and he distributes the ball, and you know, their scheme fits their personnel, and they can certainly hurt you in a number of different ways. And the style of offense, you know, it forces you into a lot of one-on-one, so you've got to be able to play assignment football, and everyone's got to do their job and trust that the other one's doing their job, so that you're not kind of light in one area and overcompensate in another. But it's an explosive offense, and you know, I think Barrett's just running it. He's poised. He looks very confident in it, and so I think this will be a challenge that, you know, from this offense that really we haven't seen to date yet. And so I'm excited for our kids because it is something new, it's different, but we know that it's we've got to play well, and we're going to be challenged in a lot of different ways.
Head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers, Paul Chryst. Again, Coach, thanks for your time and best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate being on.